from the historic Ham Building in St. Paul, it's the Haberdasher's Couch. I'm Kendrick, inviting you to the show, starring Heimie and Keith, featuring Todd Walker, also featuring Amye Scharlau. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Heimie.
Happy Fashion Fridays, and welcome to another show, the Haberdasher's Couch, where you don't have to pay somebody to listen to you. And Keith, thanks for listening to me every single week. You sure look handsome today with that fine fedora hat on your head. Fedora. That is. Tell me, Keith, where do you think the origin of the fedora came from? Not to put you on the spot, but you probably think it's Italian.
No.
1883 it dates back. Jeez. It is actually French. Huh? It was named after a play called Fedora. Right? Fedora the Explorer. Is that what you were going to say?
No.
So anyway.
This is hat, man. This is hat. This is attitude.
I can just look at you. Just look at you.
This hat is something for you. Just come.
It was from a French playwright. It was the fedora was wearing a stylish hat in the actual show, worn by a woman. It was considered to be a feminine style of the time, but was adapted to fashion shortly thereafter because of the popularity of the show, Fedora. That is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because I have a crushable
fedora. What we do is people come in here and they say, I'm looking for a fedora, right? So fedora, we always talk block shapes when we talk hats, right? So the wooden block shape that forms the hats actually gives the hat its name. So that's a pinch front fedora, right? Because you have the two creases here, the crease running down the middle. A pinch front fedora. Then there's a teardrop fedora, and a C-crown fedora, which would be C-crown styled. And then we have the pork pie. We've got the trilby, which is really came from the horse tracks of that era, which was a crushable hat, fedora style. But it's just not like Kleenex.
Look at you.
I'm just going on and on. I'm so excited about the origins of fedora.
Wow.
When do you start wearing your fall fashion fedora, Keith?
It's 60 degrees out, so you... I
don't know when to shut up.
And it's okay, you don't have to, because, with this bald head, I put it on right now, my friend.
See, tell me, so the fedoras became popular. They started showing up in men's fashions. And then what happened is everybody started wearing them to the racetracks of that time. You'll see all those old movies and pictures of everybody in the audience wearing a fedora hat called the trilby.
Yeah, I think it's just a really cool way to express your style. It really has emerged.
A brimmed hat.
And a brimmed hat is it's quite fun to kind of put on and have some fun with it.
So we can see it in beaver grades, wool grades.
Yep.
You're wearing an all wool, 100% lamb's wool fedora.
Yep. Yep.
The felting process is actually a round shape, and it's called a pancake. And that pancake is flash panned and formed under high rate of pressure and steam. Yeah. And then they trim the edges, which you have what they call a bound edge, which is a stitched edge, and a raw edge, which you see in a lot of hat making films. The guy's going really fast with a knife, and all he's doing is he's cutting that edge. Hand pressed, hand blocked, and then ready to wear.
And I'm sure happy they don't cure them like they used to back in the day with formaldehyde.
Tell me about the Mad Hatter.
That's what turns you into a Mad Hatter.
So it was the lead they used in making the composite pancakes, felting the pancakes so that they get ready and shape the hat. And that's why they were called Mad Hatters, because they were going crazy with exposure to the lead. Yeah. Wow. That was a lot. I said a lot. I'm sorry. I feel like I upstaged you.
Not at all, man. This hat gives a whole different attitude.
When all you have to do is sit there and look sexy, just take the job.
Yeah, I feel good. I went through a range of emotions with this hat. I love it.
So come down to Heimie's. We just are starting to get our fall fashion fedoras in, and we hope to see you soon, and thanks for tuning in.
Todd About Town, Todd Walker, entertainment, travel, and more. Hey Todd, what's new?
Happy Friday, and welcome to the show, The Haberdasher's Couch. I'm here with Todd About Town, Todd Walker, who just returned from the media tour of all places, Lake Geneva, which is located in southern Wisconsin. 80 miles from Chicago and 40 miles from Milwaukee. He's here to tell me about the Gilded Age of mansion lake living. Todd, welcome back from Lake Geneva.
Thank you. I got to tell you, it's an amazing place. I flew from here to Milwaukee, which was under an hour flight, then drove to Lake Geneva, having never been there. It was unbelievable. I stayed at a place called Maxwell Manor, and it's a restored old Victorian home, or yeah, I'm sure it was a home at one time. Nancy Reagan even stayed there. It's actually in her day. They have stables in the back, like a line of stables, and I stayed in one of the converted stables, and they're just as charming as you can imagine. They have a wonderful apothecary bar where people go in and order really interesting cocktails. And probably one of the highlights is they have a speakeasy on the lower level, and it actually is, you know, it wasn't just built and said this is a speakeasy. Everything to the, you know, hidden doorways that open up.
Prohibition era.
Yeah, it was just unbelievable, and you have to have the password to get in.
Right. Is it true that this is one of the last places that still has mail delivered by boat?
Well, there's two things that make the lake so incredibly interesting. The first thing is it's 22 miles around the lake, and even so now you have these sprawling estates and mansions after mansions. I mean, mammoth in size, and they all have to give the public access, basically, to the property. So there's a walking path around the whole lake. And we're not talking there's a fence and you have to look over the fence to see the mansions. It's the beautiful front yards coming down, and you're walking on a path that goes...
And this is a birthplace of astrophysics.
Yeah, but wait, let's talk about what they do on the lake that makes it so unique.
The jumpers.
They have the male jumpers for 107 years. And I believe we're going to post a video on this. So for 107 years, they've had male jumpers. Now, it sounds like it's been primarily women as of the late number of years, but the video that I hope we get a chance to post is just fascinating. So the young ladies will stretch out and they get all ready, and then the boat takes off, and the boat you know, has tourists on it or do whatever, and then the girls are male jumpers. They jump off and they go and deliver the mail, and sometimes they have to go all the way down to the shore and then go to the next dock and the next dock.
So by the time they deliver mail to one house, they run to the to jump back on the boat, grab them.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So it's just a very charming town.
For us, it is.
Yeah,
I don't know about them.
And I asked the young girl. I said, "Have you ever fallen in?" And she was like, "Oh, of course.
Yeah,
all of us have. All of the male jumpers." So that's just something. If you do go, definitely check that out. And it's right on the shores of the downtown area, which is just
that doesn't sound like a retirement job, because your knees would be shot.
Yeah, I don't think that's not something you want to do.
Exactly.
Now, you asked about the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Observatory.
Yeah.
Now the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Observatory it's actually it's a delightful story, because it was set to be destroyed, and it was part of the University of Chicago, I believe. And so now some individual funders have come in and taken it over, and it's a gorgeous property. And it was going to be torn down for condominiums and whatever. And it is actually houses the largest, let me get this right, the largest telescope in the world that also takes pictures. 67-foot 67 feet refractor telescope.
And is it the elevation that makes it so good to have an observatory there, or what's the deal?
Well, I think it's just the power of this telescope. And
clear skies, no light interference.
And we're going to post some pictures of that too. So you can go tour the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 Observatory and check it out. And it's all been redone and remodeled, and it's on beautiful grounds. So definitely that's something to check out as well.
And then so there's a larger, the Playboys Club, which is in the Grand Geneva.
Yeah, so the Grand Geneva was built Originally, Hugh Hefner built it as a Playboy club because a lot of the wealthy people from Chicago or whatever, you know, would go over to it. And it's on beautiful grounds. So it's now been converted to the Grand Geneva Club. They have a wonderful restaurant in there that's, I think it's the Grand Geneva Chop House. That's fantastic. I had great dinners. Just an amazing, amazing place. But yeah, would you want to go through some of the places that I'd suggest you eat?
Yeah.
And then before, they have the Pier 290, like I suggested. They have the Baroque Wine and Brew Bar, which was really amazing, and that's right in the downtown of Lake Geneva, where the town is.
How are the menu expenses?
You know what? Everything was less expensive than our wonderful failing town of St. Paul. Yes, and for a really nice dinner. There's another resort. It's called the Lake Lawn Resort, which beautiful. And I think one of the pictures we're going to show, they had the largest jumbo shrimp I've ever seen in my entire life. And
that's a full service resort.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful. That's a beautiful resort as well. But I mean, there's so much to do there. There's so many places to just check out, really take in nature and look at the city. And like I said, it's so close to here that it's kind of like, you know, why not go to Milwaukee, spend 2 nights in Milwaukee, and then, you know, head up to the Lake Geneva.
Total expense package vacation for
it's inexpensive.
Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday. I mean, you're going to get a airfare for, you know, probably under $300, and accommodations depending where you stay. I mean, you're going to get it's reasonable too. Think of $200 a night maybe for a hotel room, and then I found the prices to be definitely less expensive. It was very safe, very walkable all around the area of Lake Geneva, and friendly people, and I can't express enough how much I would take it in.
You don't need to coordinate this through some sort of just go.
Yep, and so many places to stay. So it's a great trip.
Visitor Bureau. .org something?
Yes, I mean, if you visit Lake Geneva and Lake Geneva, you know, Convention and Visitors Bureau, you can certainly go to them for information, and they have a little shop right downtown that they'll be very helpful. Definitely worth checking out, and I would stay at either one of those properties.
Wonderful. Todd, thanks for coming in and sharing Lake Geneva with us. I'm going to go because I need a getaway. And thanks again for, you know, every Friday you bring something to the table.
Yep, absolutely. We'll have good stuff again next week.
We'll see you next week.
Hello, this is Amye the Hypnotist here at beautiful Heimie's Haberdashery, and this is Coffee Talk. Today I want to talk to you about a wonderful new art form. You've probably seen it. It's all over the internet. And one of the things I love about art, which was my very first degree, is that art is a verb. It is a living, growing, passionate thing. And one of my favorite new art forms is the way people are taking pictures with statues. What a wonderful way to shake hands, literally and figuratively, with the past. You've probably seen some of these pictures. Some of them are incredibly clever, and this is brought to us by technology. Only a few years ago, people weren't walking around with a camera in their hands all the time like they have now, and this has created wonderful creative opportunities and spontaneous moments of being able to interact with public art. Some of these are absolutely hysterical. People looking like they're getting slapped by the statue or being carried away with it. It is just a real lot of fun, and these are great ways to socialize as well. You see groups of people coming together with really clever ways to interact with the past. I absolutely love art, and I love how technology always comes up with more art, more creative ways of doing things, more ways to interact and have fun with each other. And I think you'll agree, this really is human beings at their best. So the next time you see some public art or a statue, take a fun selfie, post it here, and that, my friends, is Coffee Talk.